Yes, my name's Elizabeth Mary Balsam. I live at 16 Cowcroft Road, Putney, London, SW15 6LP.
Now in front of you, you'll see a number of documents.
Yes.
To your left, to
Yes.
your right. You should see there something headed Volume 4. I hope is logically the fourth volume down, but I'm not sure it still is.
Volume 5, so I guess this is Volume 4, yes.
If you look at page 1311, that should be the opening page of your submission. I'm not sure you're in the right volume.
No, perhaps I'm not.
Well,
that's Volume 5. Volume 2, oh, they're not so.
That's 4.
All right, okay, thank you.
It's very easily done.
1311, you see?
Yep.
1, 3. All right, I see. Yep.
That's your submission.
Yes,
Can
it
you
is.
confirm it's true and accurate to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes, it looks just like the piece of paper I brought with
And
me.
you'd like it, would you, to stand as your evidence to the Commission?
Yes. Yes, that's-
Now, there's another letter which you submitted after the bundles were concluded, and it's a letter dated February 2013.
Yes, I found that when I was trawling through my computer.
Pause
Yes.
there a moment. Is that something you would also like to stand as your evidence?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Thank you. What I'd like to ask you first of all is about the consultation phase. Now you live in Putney, that's
Yep.
correct, isn't it? How did you know about the proposed changes to the hospital services?
I'm trying to remember that because I think I might have responded to the original Shaping a Healthier Future thing which the Imperial Board was sending out, because I'm a patient at Charing Cross Hospital, so I was going there fairly frequently, and I think I probably picked up some information about it there.
Do you think, or are you able to help with whether or not in your area, the West Putney area, the changes were adequately publicised?
Absolutely not. I tried to do something. I remember I'd go to the patient participation group at my local surgery, and I've mentioned it there. There's a community website, as there are in many areas, and I've mentioned it there. I did go along to, as I say somewhere here, a sparsely attended meeting at Wandsworth Town Hall. Must be 2 years ago now. But it wasn't publicised at all. I just happened to know because I was having to trail to Charing Cross Hospital very frequently.
What else do you think should have been done about publicising the changes in the West Putney area?
I don't know whether GP surgeries were consulted, because quite a lot of people do come to Charing Cross. A number of my neighbours have been treated at the hospital. And when I was diagnosed with breast cancer 5 years ago, I don't know how I knew that Charing Cross was going to be, I had once been here to A&E. I asked to be treated at Charing Cross because it is so much more convenient to get there.
Can you pause then? Could you explain to the Commission how you came to be and why you were treated at Charing Cross rather than St George's in Tooting?
I asked to be treated there because for me to get to St George's from where I live in West Putney is a nightmare journey, whereas to get to Charing Cross, I just hop on the 4:30 bus, and in about half an hour, I'm there.
And what do you think the impact upon you in terms of your emotional and your physical well-being would have been if you had had to have cancer treatment elsewhere?
If I'd had to go to St George's, I think I say in the letter to Justine, I would as soon as got on the plane to Zurich. I just cannot imagine having to take so many changes of bus or get on a train or do this, that and the other. This week I just looked up on the Transport for London website, putting in my postcode and the St George's. And they just send you this sort of nightmare journey of going to Putney Station. It's so crazy. Going to Putney Station, getting a train to Clapham Junction, getting a train to Balham, getting out at Balham train station, walking to Balham tube station, 8-minute walk, going to Tooting Broadway tube station, and then walking to the hospital. That would just be totally impossible.
Pausing there for a moment, you've talked about your journey times and your experience briefly. Can you assist with whether or not the same applies, to your knowledge, to other people in your area?
It would do, yes.
do you have personal knowledge of other people, I think you were saying, who are treated in Charing Cross for the same reasons or not?
Yes, I know a couple of people in my road who have been treated in Charing Cross. There seems now to be a policy that if you are, say, like a friend of mine had a heart attack and she was taken on a blue light to St George's.
Now, if the Charing Cross Hospital facility was no longer available to you, having reached the stage of treatment you are at, what do you think the impact would be upon you?
I don't know that at this stage because I don't know how much further treatment I might need or whether the cancer will return. I just don't know. And on occasions when I've been there over the past couple of years for follow-up appointments, I've said, what's going to happen? And all the doctors sort of say, we don't know.
So you've made inquiries?
I've made inquiries.
Of whom apart from your treating physicians?
Nobody. Whom is there to ask?
Do your treating physicians know what the future for their service is?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Now, in addition, you had some treatment from the haematology department.
Yes, that's right.
Now again, same question. Have you made inquiries about whether this is going to stay at Charing Cross or whether it will go?
No, I haven't, because I managed to escape their clutches after about during that year. But one thing I would say is that I did have to go to the Hammersmith for a bone marrow biopsy, and that was utterly painless because I was very frightened about that and thought it might be painful, and so I phoned up and said, oh, what is going to happen? And they said, oh, we're wonderful here. People come from all over the world to have their bone marrow aspirations and biopsies done. And as I say, it didn't hurt me at all. I just went home on the 72 bus that time rather than the 4:30.
In terms of the uncertainty about where these services are going to be located, does that have an impact on you?
Yes, it does. I do wonder what will happen. And various records of mine are at Charing Cross Hospital. And yes, I do wonder what will happen.
Now, you also make mention of eye care services.
Yes, indeed.
And again, can you help the Commission by explaining what your concerns about those services are?
Yes, just by chance, about 20 years ago, I was a patient at the Western Ophthalmic, for about 10 years. But I'm now a patient at Moorfields. That is so overcrowded. I would say if you stand up, somebody pinches your seat. And I think it's well known, if you look at things like the Macular Society or the International Glaucoma Association, any of those support groups will say that eye clinics, eye services are under immense pressure. And so if you take out the Western Ophthalmic, I don't know what Imperial's plans are to do with the patients they have there, but I just do not see how you can take out an eye hospital in London when the demands are horrendous.
Now, just very briefly, in relation to the letter that you've written, is there anything you want the Commission to know in relation to that letter? It's to your MP, Justine Greening, at the time.
Yes, I know. I mean, it's such a long time ago. I only found the letter when I was just going through my computer yesterday, sort of seeing what did I say at various times. I can't remember if Justine replied to me. I do know her slightly. And I don't know if it was referred to Jeremy Hunt or what Jeremy Hunt has done on this whole matter, if he's been involved at all.
So broadly speaking, in terms of the reconfiguration of hospitals, and particularly thinking about Charing Cross Hospital, what's your view about the proposed reforms?
I think they're misguided. I can't see, personally, I would like the hospital to stay there because I have been well treated there and it's a very easy hospital for me to reach. So selfishly, I want it to stay there. On a broader consideration, I just don't understand how you can take out that number of hospital beds, because I believe, I don't have the figures in my head, but say the number of hospital beds per whatever it is of population, 100,000 of population, we are quite low in this country compared, say, to other European countries. So there's that. I just don't see how you can take out that number of beds and still provide an adequate service, because the day I wrote the letter to this commission, which was January the 5th, I think, and I mentioned the headline in the Evening Standard was London's population is soaring.
So what do you say to the Commission should happen now in relation to the proposed reforms?
I would like to see a rethink of the proposed reforms. think I'd like to see them scrapped, but I'm not a health economist, but I just cannot see how you can serve the population of West London under what their proposals are. And I would like the Commission to emphasise that people in south of the river, which is not taken into account in this, do have an interest and a stake in what happens to the hospitals north of the river.
Thank you. If you wait there may be some questions from the Commission.
Right.
Yes, thank you very much for the presentation. I'm just trying to pick up something I may have missed. Can I just check everybody can hear all right at the moment?
Much better.
Much better, isn't it? Good. You're doing very well. The question, you just said, did you say you're a health economist?
No, I said I'm not a health economist. Because I wanted that figure of how many beds per, do they say 10,000 people or 1,000 people? But we are very low, aren't we? The ratio of beds to population is not very good in this country.
No, I don't. I have to declare an interest because I've lived in Putney a long time. And I've had the same hospital. Any other questions? No, very clear. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming to give your evidence.